Good evening mga kalaro and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel where Sportitos talk about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Porcon, and with me as always is Vice Chief Bisdak Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
So right off the bat, congratulations. Whose line was it actually? Sammy, kind of Cody, kind of Sammy.
Yeah.
It was there, which means you called it.
Yeah.
And like, and we were way. I was way off.
Well, we were way off with the context, but yeah, I got who said it because it seemed as if that would be a line, that would be a word. Although when I did check the actual title, it was weird. Yeah. So yeah,
One might say preposterous.
PROposterous. Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, yes, mga kalaro, for tonight, the council would take a look at episode 8 of season 43 entitled PROposterous, which was for the most part anything but preposterous, the episode. Don't you think so, Jao?
Well, I actually have something here about it being kind of preposterous, but you know, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And why don't we just go ahead? Let us start with our highs. Let's have a couple of your highs, Joe.
Right. It's awesome, Jesse. That's why I'm wearing red, right? Vessi. Even though the shirt is a little tight for me now, as our video viewers can see a little bit of the undershirt going on there. You know, in solidarity with Jesse and Vessi, I'm in red because that was such an awesome move. Having the idol, like, you know, it was pretty good editing as well, you know, which was good. Although my sort of something that I'm a bit iffy on is it wasn't really presented as a big brain move by Jesse. Because if it were presented as a big brain move by Jesse, like, we wouldn't hear the end of it, right? It would have been like, and yeah, I got the idol from Dwight, and then I voted him out, and had Cody feel like he had agency, blah blah blah. So it's kind of he lucked into the coolest move of the season thus far.
Yeah. We don't really quite know if he really planned out the Dwight vote because he had the idol, right? And yeah, nevertheless though, it was a pretty good, I don't know if it was a move, it was a pretty good thing that happened for him, I guess.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, which is, you know, and now we can't trust the exit interviews anymore. So like, even if they say like, hey, yeah, it was something that was really lucky on Jesse's part, that right before tribal council, Dwight just gave it to him from his crotch and all of that. Like, we can no longer trust these exit interviews from the players, because all of the exit interviews of Dwight and all of Dwight's exit interviews made it appear as though he went home with the idol.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, what that tells me, though, because I haven't seen any of the exit interviews, is that the idol, the Janine idol, might play a big role later on.
Yeah, but like, we can no longer trust the exit interviews because they lie in them.
or maybe they don't give the all of the details. Maybe they were asked not to give the full details of anything that will still come into play later on, right? That's a possible thing. So yeah, I guess it's also, and I guess that's because while I don't really check a lot of the review podcasts, there is one that I do because I love the guys from No Buffs. I've been following them ever since they were the starters. Um, they did have an issue with the swap not being presented earlier, like in the Dwight vote out,
Yeah.
and because that would have solved everything, right? And then Dwight would have
Yeah.
been able to, yeah, I did give it to Jesse and all of that. But yeah, I guess since it, he probably was told that okay, this is gonna be how we're gonna edit it. We're not gonna show there was a swap, so don't say anything during your exit interviews.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's um like I have a lot of notes on that.
Mm,
Um
that's on the lows.
well, this is more of like a what do you think? Something that I'd like to
Mm.
throw out there,
Yeah, I guess that we
you
can
know,
talk about it now. Yeah.
right? Um because this particular episode
Mm.
made the previous episode better,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can
right?
see how
It's
that.
it's
Yeah.
it's sort of like it's sort of like the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Like the Star Wars prequel trilogy, let's face it, was horrible,
Okay.
but it
Wait, I
was
thought you were
made
gonna say the Star Wars prequel trilogy made the original trilogy better. What? What? Anyway.
the prequel trilogy was kind of bad, right?
Mm.
But the Dave Filoni stuff, like
Mm.
the Clone
Mandalorian.
Wars and all
Clone
of that,
Wars. Yeah.
right? You know, uh, the Dave Filoni stuff retroactively made the prequel trilogy better,
Mm. Okay.
right?
All right.
Like
Okay. I can get that. I can follow that.
right, like
Uh-huh.
when we watched those prequel trilogies as they were coming out, and this is us kind of showing how old we are. Um, we had issues with the acting and with the story and the
Mm.
way the story was presented. But after Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels and all of that stuff, the only problem was the acting and direction, or the acting as a result of the direction,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the lines. But like the story, the mythos, etc., it became a lot better. So, are we cool with that in Survivor?
In Survivor, whether or not the revelation an episode after. Well, personally, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because it separates the what happened in the previous episode, and it gave us that moment of utter awe for Janine, because it, especially with that whole thing where it seemed as if she was pawing Dwight to give her back her idol, and then it
Yeah.
didn't happen. And then it's an even bigger awe now. Now that we know that the idol isn't actually gone, it's actually with Jesse, right? So I think I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it in terms of storytelling, because that was a different story, and then this is a different story. This might be because that was a story of how the swap, the merry-go-round of the idols and advantages resulted in Janine's idol getting, according to Cassidy and some of the other castaways, accidentally flushed out. But then it's revealed here that there's a twist. But wait, there's more, right? And for me, that really builds up. Although it wasn't presented as a big move, a big brain move by Jesse, it still presents him as a favorite, right? Because he was able, he technically he now has two idols, because we
Yeah.
don't know if he returned Cody's idol.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. All right. All right.
What about you?
Um.
What about you? Are you okay? Are you not okay with it?
Um. I don't know. I'm on the fence, I guess,
Uh-huh.
because like you the the episode before this is not complete in a way,
Mm.
you know, like um yeah, that's sort of the feeling that I get. It feels like I was cheated out of a story with the last the last episode, and with all of the exit press and all of that. um takes us down one direction and like, haha, blindside. I don't know if I don't know if I like being blindsided as an
As a
audience
viewer.
member. Yeah, as a viewer. Like, there's a reason that dramatic irony works. That is to say,
Mhm.
the characters don't know about something that the viewers know is happening, right? Like, there's a reason that that sort of theatrical device works. So yeah, but there's also that feeling of being blindsided, as if you are there in um
On the island.
on the island as well, which
Mhm.
I guess could also be one of those hallmarks of the new era of Survivor, where
The
hey
new
you,
era.
yeah, like hey you at home watching, this could be you, and this is what
Yeah.
it feels like to be blindsided. Like
It
that,
is very immersive.
yeah,
Right? Then that they've tried that. They tried that. Like with all of the edits, like the not the way that that Liana's knowledge's power was rendered useless in 41. And
yeah,
then in 42, when what's his name? All of a sudden said the secret phrase, right? They've been trying to do that. I
yeah,
think this was that moment. This was that where they used that edit.
yeah. But this is the first time that I can remember
That it spanned more than
that
one
it
episode.
spanned more than one episode.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just something new, I guess, which I guess
Mhm.
is commendable. It feels kind of weird. So it's like, you know, it's one. I guess that's I guess that's it. No?
Mm.
Do you want the nice comfy pair of underwear, or do you want like the new hotness? That's sort of what we're getting at, right? So to the
Yeah.
listeners, what do you think? What are your
Yeah. What do
thoughts?
you think? Hit us up on the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are about that edit and how they used that edit, that twist that they
Yeah, that
put.
twist,
Yeah, that
right?
twist that they put. All right.
And sort of in relation to that,
Mhm.
something that you mentioned, um, I've come to the conclusion that Survivor is no longer just a TV show. If Joe will cut this out, and the people that are watching this, you see that my face is a little bit like more red. I'm coughing, and it's Vessi. Right. So I've come to the conclusion that Survivor is no longer just like a TV show.
Okay.
It's sort of like uh, performance art, like
Mhm.
you know, because there is that performative element of the exit interviews that tie directly into the show. Huh?
Mm.
Like it's um, what's it? The what's what's his face? What's his name? One of the podcasts on Rob has a podcast. I think it's Why Blank Lost. Keeps on
Okay.
insisting that, or is it Stephen Fishback? I don't know, but somebody mentioned that that exit interviews are not quote unquote canon,
Oh.
right? Like, yeah, the exit interviews aren't canon, but I would submit
Mm.
that the exit interviews with Dwight have made exit interviews canon to the show now
Mm. Mhm.
because of the exit interviews being part of the blind
Continuing
side of the
the
season.
idea, yeah, continuing the
Yeah,
idea, so that the twist of Jesse having the idol even more effective, making that even more effective.
yeah,
Yeah, and I've been put we well I we've been pushing for it, that Survivor has become this whole ecosystem of all of these things. You've got the game, and then you've got all of these podcasters who feed into the fans, and then the fans become part of the game again. So I
yeah,
personally, I'm with you on that. I'm with you that it is. I think that it is all, while they're probably not, most probably not funded by CBS or Mark Burnett or Jeff Probst, right? These podcasters, either Rob has a podcast, Once Upon This Island, or all of these other Peridium. uh, they're us. We're not. None of these podcasts are being funded by CBS. Uh, I think the fact that CBS allows the castaways to get on these different shows to
Mhm.
be interviewed tells you that okay, they know that it's going to affect how they present the show, and so there's probably a little bit of a Kevin Feige MCU thing that okay, these are the details that you can divulge, these are the
Yeah.
details that you can't divulge, otherwise we're gonna come after you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that it should be canon. It should be
Yeah.
canon. It
But like,
contributes to the entire thing, the
yeah.
entire
So
experience.
what I am putting forward here, dear listeners, is that all of the Survivor related media is no longer Survivor adjacent, but is part of Survivor.
Okay.
So the podcasts, the exit interviews, the all of this extended media. This isn't the Survivor community, but it's becoming Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
If you get
Mm-hmm.
what I mean.
Yeah.
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 So that's just
I
this,
can get with that. I can jump on that bandwagon.
right?
Yeah.
Because there's no way that we are the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, like as much as I like, as much as I say Wakanda forever and all of that, like no, I'm never gonna see vibranium in my, like
So yeah, but we are. I mean, yeah, all of these things they contribute to the whole ecosystem that is Survivor. The experience, not just for those who participate, but also for the audience, right?
yeah.
And
So
us who analyze, who talk about our feelings and our thoughts about watching this show that we've come to love, right?
yeah, so like Survivor fans aren't survivors, or aren't Survivor fans aren't fans of Survivor. Survivor fans are Survivor,
There you go.
if that makes sense.
It
I'm
does.
I'm doing the thing that Jeff likes to get people to do in tribal council. That is
Which is
to speak in figures of speech and metaphors and similes and all of that.
so if Jeff comes up to you and says, "So Jao, tell me about your whole experience about seeing Dwight go and then finding out in his exit interviews that he said that he was voted off with the idol or at least getting that feeling and then finally finding out that Jesse had the idol all along. How did you feel about that?"
Well, Survivor is no longer a fandom. Survivor fandom is Survivor. It's like,
There you go.
it's no longer simile. We are now metaphor.
There you go.
Anyway, it's no longer. It is like something. It is
It is
something.
something, right? And I'm sure that no other current Castaway or season 43 Castaway feels that more than one of my highs. The super duper fan of season 43, Owen, right?
Oh,
Oh gosh, this episode,
my man.
it was Owen. It was Owen, man. I love the fact, number one, that when he did win, he had a clutch elimination win. For me, that was a clutch elimination, and because he was on the outs, he was on the way out. Had he not won that, he was probably gonna get voted out.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and especially if we follow the if we follow our theory, Joe, from the past couple of seasons, that whenever we get the emotional backstory of the castaway, that meant that that castaway was on their last legs on the island. So we
Oh.
got Owen's emotional backstory for this episode. And I started to think, oh my gosh, is this the episode when Owen is gonna get voted out? But he came out with a clutch win. He came out with a clutch win, and I like the fact that when he did get that win, the survivors that he referenced were old school. He went
Mm.
with old school elimination winners, right? So it really goes to show us that I'm sure that probably most of them, probably only Gabler isn't a fan. Or did he say that he was a fan? Anyway, Owen is the super duper fan. He's the only one who refers to the lower third. He's the only one who has
Yeah.
all of these references, right? None of the others actually do have anything like that. So, and this episode was had Owen written all over it. That clutch win, that clutch elimination win, that was really big for me.
Yeah. OG Survivor fan.
Yeah.
And
OG.
that it was spoilers for if anybody hasn't watched Age of Ultron yet. Avengers Age of Ultron. So I've been watching MCU stuff recently.
Oh, okay.
Like I've been watching MCU stuff again.
Where
So
are you? Where are you up to now?
um I've just
Are
been
you watching them
watching.
chronologically?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just watching. I'm watching the ones that I have or that didn't quite resonate with me at the time. Seeing if I
Oh,
appreciate. Yeah,
yeah.
like Iron Man 3, not that bad. Like
Really? Okay. It might warrant a rewatch for me. Hmm.
what's Thor: The Dark World,
Uh
still terrible.
huh.
Made ever so slightly better by Endgame. Made
Okay.
ever so slightly better by the time heist. But so I was watching Age of Ultron, and um the Owen not getting voted out tonight
Mhm.
felt like Hawkeye not dying.
Ooh, and Quicksilver dying in his stead. Ooh.
Yeah, but then I will say that Survivor did this better, because this was sort of like the Janine trilogy,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
Because it
Wow.
was right. It was like Ellie, and then
Dwight.
Dwight, and then finally the downfall of Janine was tragedy.
Yeah.
When you lose control and you got no soul, it's tragedy. Um,
Wow. There you go.
uh, BGs, but also Soul Stone or whatever.
Mhm.
But Avengers: Age of Ultron like set set the viewer up for Hawkeye to be the one that takes the bullet, right? Like, they
Yeah. The
introduce
entire
his
time. Yeah.
family, and like, all right, this is the conclusion of your arc, etc., etc. And then right at the very end, as he's there gonna protect the kid, like, you're sitting in your seat, like, yeah, he's gonna die. And then all of a sudden it's Quicksilver. Um, as if to say, haha, screw you, Fox X-Men universe. You have like a really cool shot of Pietro running around touching bullets and all of that. We're gonna kill him. And and pee on his grave by buying 21st Century Fox. Um, but that's kind of what it felt like. The what's it? Owen not getting eliminated.
hmm
It felt like that, and it was interesting. Uh, it was an interesting feeling. Like, oh yeah, this is I guess a bit of an editing trick, right?
hmm
Like they set us up for that, but then also it's the Janine trilogy, so um you're also kind of setting up for uh, Janine going home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
then I
like that.
was
I
so
like.
sure that it was going to be Ryan, though.
Me too. Me too. Actually, I was so sure it was. I was so sure that this was the episode where the lower tier would finally rise up.
Yeah.
Right. They're gonna do like a whole Black Panther Wakanda for everything and rise up, right? But it didn't happen, unfortunately. And we'll talk about that in the lows. But yeah, but I do like that. I do like the whole concept of this being the past three episodes being a Janine trilogy. It's just sad that it ended in utter tragedy. Uh, to think of the fact that she has looked tragic ever since day one, with starting with that chin scar.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and you couldn't help but feel so sorry for her. She's this frail little. She's I among all of the castaways that were left. She's like the most frail, and then she gets like she gets gut punched. For the past 3 episodes, she's been gut punched and gut punched left and right. And then yeah, it's so sad. I was also hoping actually for this episode to start her redemption and, like, her ascension into becoming an Erika Kasupanan. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out.
In
Uh,
Black Panther, the revolution will not be televised.
yeah, unfortunately. By the way, guys, to those who haven't watched Wakanda Forever yet, it's a good watch. It's a good watch. I saw it the other day. It's a good watch. Have you seen it, Joe?
No,
No, not yet.
actually, not
Okay, yeah,
yet.
it's a good watch. It's a good watch. All right. I'm a DC fan more than a Marvel fan, and I think that a lot of MCU films are entertaining, but this one is a good watch. So
All right.
there's something a little bit more for me, at the very least. All right. Do you have any? Moving back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about? Uh, yeah. What are your other highs? Do you have any other highs?
Cassidy actually taking a stand.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
It was what panned out in the episode was sort of like the exact opposite of what I said was going to happen last time, where like Cassidy um and Janine were going to be part of like this underdog uprising, whatever. But no, didn't happen. But it was Cassidy that took a stand, saying like,
Hmm.
no, we're not going to have we're not going to have another woman's name,
Yeah.
you know, hit the parchment,
Yeah.
and actually sticking by that,
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
playing
Yeah.
with principle.
Yeah. That was and I saw a post somewhere. I think it was in the official Survivor fans Philippines community, where apparently Cassidy requoted herself, the what she said, right, about we can't vote another, whether it's intentional or not, or she doesn't think it's intentional, voting another woman out. I mean, a majority of those who've been voted out have been women, yada yada yada. And yeah, so it's really something that she probably really feels strongly about. And kudos to her. Kudos to her having showing some more agency in the game.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like, what's his name? Like, well, last season, um, Hoboken Mike said that he
Mhm.
played the game with honor
Mhm.
when everybody said like, no, he didn't. Um, Cassidy right now seems to be playing the game with honor.
Mhm.
Like, these are my principles. I'm going to stick by them, right? And that's something quite admirable. If being on the wrong side of the numbers, but being on the wrong side of the numbers for principle
Mhm.
is better than being on the right side of the numbers because you're balimbing or because you're
Mhm.
flip floppy. I'm looking at
Mhm.
you, Sammy.
Yeah, that's also on the lows. Yeah. Yeah, that's something on the lows for me as well. So, but yeah, I really like the agency that Cassidy showed in this episode. And in fact, yeah, you said it, that she's standing on principle. It was just her and Janine, so basically now she's the one on the outermost outs.
Yeah.
She's out in the cold, and we've got 9 others. Right? Yeah, I'm right. Right? There's just 10 of them left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 9 others who voted for for Janine, and Janine becomes am I right? Janine becomes the first member of the jury.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. She's the first member of the jury.
Yeah. So yeah. So you got that. And it finally she comes out from being the closest to becoming purple for this entire season, and she's doing something. She's
Yeah.
doing something for something that she believes in. It's not just for the sake of making a big move.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that felt like a or that was a high. Do you have any others? Do you have any
Oh,
other highs?
I just have one more. Again, it goes back to what I said was sort of becoming the theme of this season. Janine, ironically, was the one who said that you still needed to trust your gut. That whole thing, it seems to be the recurring quote that comes out, right? That you have to trust your gut. Ironically, and it was Janine who said it, and she's like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, she's been punched in the gut for the past 3 episodes, and this is the punch that knocked her out of the game. But still, that theme, trust your gut, it's coming out. So that might be something that we can latch on to, and it might be a theme for the entire season. What about
Yeah.
yeah, on your side?
But
Any other highs?
to that point though, does that mean that Sammy is in trouble because he's been one of the most trust your gutty sort of people? And right now, the people that are playing with their heads are the ones that seem to be winning. That is to say, my boy Jesse and Carla, the
Carla.
ones that are that have the uh, gosh, that have the presence of mind to not tell people about their idols. Like
Mhm.
that isn't playing with your gut, bro. That's
Mm,
playing
yeah,
with
that's playing strategically. It's
yeah.
playing
That's
strategically. Yep. Yeah, it could be setting that up, right? Right. Or it could be setting up the idea that later on the gut people will prevail over the head people, right?
hmm.
I don't really quite know what the outcome is gonna be, but I'm just noticing that it gets brought up a lot, right? It's been getting brought up a lot, so it might be something
So it's like Survivor 43, head versus heart versus
versus
gut.
gut.
As a gut person, as a head person,
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
that
It,
could be a cool like
that
returning season, a returning player season idea.
yeah. So you've got very. Wouldn't that be like brain? No, that's not brains, bronze, and beauty. But yeah, it would be cool. You've got the strategic players, you've got the emotional players, and then you've got the what would you call the instinctive players?
The bulls in a china shop.
Yeah, the bulls in a china shop. What would you call the guys who the players who trust their gut with
Yeah,
anything and
yeah.
everything?
The instinctive
Yeah,
players, I suppose. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be pretty cool, actually.
yeah,
Survivor producers, if you're listening,
yeah. We hope you are.
that one is free.
Yeah, like we know that like all of the other social media listens to everything that happens nowadays. What? Come on, so whoever is listening, just push this over to Burnett and Probes and tell them about this idea coming from a couple of titos over in the Philippines who would like to have the survivor experience once in their lives. Uh, anyway, wait, Zhao, sorry, am I the one? What happened there, man?
Conspiracy theory time, right? We were getting too close to Survivor 45, which is like the returning season of brains versus heart versus gut. And so they were like, oh, we can't do that. We're going to have to restart his computers somehow. It's probably, I think it was like a Windows update or something.
What? In the middle of anyway, we're
Either
past that.
way,
Either
either way.
way. Any other highs for you?
Uh, I don't know if this is a high or a low. It's just something that is, but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's to do with the cast.
Okay.
They're very Asian in a way.
How so?
In the sense that they aren't as straightforward, they aren't as like bombastic as the previous casts.
So they're
Like,
passive aggressive.
yeah, they're
That's
very
why you're saying they're
indirect.
Asian.
Yeah, they're Asian because they're passive aggressive. Um, they're very indirect. Uh, they play hard but don't communicate that they're playing hard.
Okay. All right. All right.
Right?
I
Like
can.
that's uh that's a very Asian thing, right? Like not, you know, like not saying what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I find that to be like kind of refreshing in a way, because previous casts have been very straightforward with how they communicate.
Mm.
You know, so much so that Swati's like, "You're my number one. You're my number one." You know, like.
She was my winner
Whereas,
pick.
you know, but like with this cast, they're waiting for the other person to say something before they say something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're very they're very passive in that, or they're very passive voice in that way.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. And
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. It's interesting. Um, they
And,
play
and
hard but not communicate that they're playing hard.
yeah, and we can see it mostly in the two that are becoming like favorites to like make it all the way until the end. You've got the two most calculating ones for me are actually Carla and Jesse.
Yeah.
They're the ones who like, okay, I'll listen to what you're saying, and especially with Jesse, like he is with the in the previous episode, he didn't want Cody to lose that sense of agency in the decision to vote out Dwight. So it's him, and then Carla, who's like the go-to for all of these people with all of their secrets, or at least that's how that's how Survivor editing is showing us. Everyone just wants to tell her about their secrets, and then she just manipulates them into going her way, right? But without really saying it, right?
Yeah.
Even for this episode, it wasn't her who said it's supposed to be Janine. She probably told James to push the Janine vote,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And but like if you look at say like and Sammy Gabler, Owen and Noel
Mm,
in this particular episode, again a very Asian thing.
mm,
Um Go with the flow.
okay. Mhm.
Be like, you know,
Be like the
um
bamboo reed that flows with the wind.
basically, right? Like, what's his name? Gabler called it a ship finding safe harbor, but really
Hmm.
that's just we go with the flow,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. It's it's different. It makes tribal councils kind of boring, right?
Mm.
Because of like how they communicate in that way. They don't talk to each other. They talk
Around,
around each other. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, sort
Gone
of.
are the
So
days when we have like live tribals. We haven't had a live tribal yet the entire season, right?
yeah.
We haven't had a tribal where people stand up and suddenly whisper to each other, whisper loudly to each other. Right? We haven't had that so far.
So far.
Yeah. Maybe
So
when we get to
yeah.
the final seven that say that they're the final seven.
Oh man, that was so funny. During the merge meal, I am not
Mm,
calling it a merge feast.
mm.
During the merge meal, there was Ryan.
Ryan.
Ryan, he was like, "Oh, this could be the final
Mm.
seven, huh?" And everybody was like, "Yeah, whatever." Huh? And then, like in these past two episodes, oh, seven strong. Like,
Yeah.
what?
This is
What?
the final seven.
What? Okay.
Maybe they just didn't want Ryan to be the one to come up with the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It was a thing. Anyway,
Those are your highs.
those are my highs. Oh, just a last little thing
Mm,
that just last little sort of observation for the past 8 episodes. Um, I like that Jeff is bringing up the whole social contract thing.
Oh. Mm.
Like, you know, the rules of your community, largely unspoken.
Hmm.
Very interesting. Apparently, according to Janine, the unspoken rule is that you don't play your shot in the dark.
Oh. So that's why it still hasn't been played. Well.
Supposedly that's one of their like unspoken rules there, that if if your shot in the dark works, that still signals that you didn't trust your allies. And
Hmm.
so you're still on the outs, right? It's one of their unspoken rules
Hmm.
in the little social contract that they have in that group of um 13,
Mm.
12, 11,
11.
whatever.
11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now I wish Jeff would bring up stuff like that.
Like the social contract, or the fact that they're not using the shot in the dark.
The fact that they're not using the shot in the dark, is that one of the unspoken rules that you have? Why
Hmm.
is that the case? Wouldn't it be better for your individual game?
Yeah.
This tension between keeping a society strong but also having the individual game, and get a little bit more specific with it. I don't know. Instead
Yeah.
of, right, because like something that Jeff is quite good at, when it comes to the tribals, are bringing in these big ideas and having the members of the tribes like get specific within that larger framework.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
this particular cast doesn't seem to be doing that very much.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to go back to old school Jeff, where he's like where he's like, so is there really an alliance, or isn't there? Like, ask those sorts of questions to like Richard Hatch, right? Like those were the types of questions that he used to ask.
Yeah. 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 It seems to me that the Jeff has also sort of taken a step back from being too aggressive, or at the very least, it's not being shown on the episode, right?
Yep.
Because we never know that that might have been what sparked that whole thing about him talking about the social contract, right?
Maybe we're
Uh,
not seeing it, no?
yeah, it might be a secret scene, because apparently, like, these tribals go for hours.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that they talk about that don't come up in the episode. So yeah, we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Not unless it comes up in the reunion, or maybe later on, when if or when Jeff gets interviewed about season 43. Right.
Yeah. So speaking of secret scenes, let's talk about our lows.
No, before that though. Before
Okay.
that though, for our viewers and our
Oh
listeners, if you noticed,
yeah, the man with the
yeah,
thoughts.
the man with the thoughts isn't here tonight. He's off gallivanting in a different fandom. Uh, so for tonight, we are going to go back to a previous segment called Martin's Thoughts.
With
Martin.
Martin.
Martin's Thoughts with Martin. Martin. Yeah.
Now, welcome to Martin's Thoughts with me, Martin. Sorry I'm out, because, pro wrestling in the Philippines and whatever. Stuck here in Brawl Pit Bulusan. No, I'm not. Just saying, I won't be there because I'm stuck somewhere outside and I can't be free. But, my highs is Jesse freaking Lopez. Yeah. Dude was sneaky. And apparently he had the hidden immunity idol of Janine. Holy smokes. I really hope against all hope, no one finds that out, and he uses that, and changes the face of the game. And I hope it's gonna be when he turns on the 7. More on that on my predictions. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be Jesse, but implying it's gonna be at that point. What else can I say? Carla is still doing good, still laying low, running the show with a 7. Magnificent 7. I don't know if they're magnificent at all, but hey, as one of the 2 women in this game as of now, she's hanging in there, hanging tough. My girl Carla, I hope you get to the finals, because the streak has to continue, or will it not? I don't know. Also, another high, well, I don't know. I just like the episode in general. It's pretty awesome. And how they edit and narrate, like how Owen was growing up. I like that cutscene to Owen's flashbacks about his past life before Survivor. So mad props to the editing team for doing that and gave us more insights on Owen himself. That's always a plus on me. And that are my highs for this week in Survivor.
Martin's thoughts with Martin. Martin. Yeah.
Okay. Jesse freaking
Awkward pause.
while I Google his actual name, Lopez. Nice one, Marts. Nice one. All right. So yeah, more or less, he concurs with our highs, right? With Jesse and Carla.
Are we foreshadowing his purple of the week with him saying that there are 2 women left?
Ooh, maybe. Just for the information of everyone watching and listening, we don't listen to Martin's thoughts before we actually air them on the episode. So these reactions that you're hearing right now, these are sincere and true.
The laughter.
The laughter. Yeah, that's true.
We were just looking at each other when Martin was like, Jesse freaking. Oh. Just waiting for that reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
He concurs.
He concurs with our thoughts. And okay, so now let's see if he's going to concur with our lows. Speaking of which, let's go to the lows.
It's preposterous. It is preposterous that this episode is called Preposterous.
It's called Preposterous. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Why the heck did they do that? I mean, yes, you did mention that before we started the recording that there was that secret scene that sort of tells us why Cody and Sammy named their boat PROposterous.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's just weird. This is the title of the episode. What would you have made the title of the episode?
That is good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually had I picked it up because that's been a habit of mine now. I pick up quotes from the episode that I can drop here, and there was actually a quote of James that for me encapsulates the episode and possibly foreshadows how the episodes are going to happen moving forward, depending on how Survivor tells the story. He actually said during the sit down, or I think it was during one of his confessionals, he did say that the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And
yeah,
that's how they voted, right? And that's why they went for Janine. Right?
That's that is also why what's it? That's why Gabler went after Ellie so hard.
Yeah.
The devil, you know.
I don't remember if it's better or worse or something. Yeah, it's that. It's the fact that, or no, no, yeah, that's the reason why they kept Ryan, because they know they sort of know Ryan. They know that he's a number, and they don't know Janine, or he doesn't know Janine. That's why.
Oh, so it's the
It's the other way
opposite
around.
of yeah.
So that's why also Cassidy's stance didn't stand, because they know that Ryan is a devil or a number or a vote that they can take later on,
Yeah.
but they don't know if Janine will go after them. So yeah, they went with the one with more uncertainty that they don't really quite know. So yeah, I that was the quote that I think should have been the title instead of "PROposterous." And they came in the secret scene. That's one of the few things that I watched outside of the episode. They came in and brought Owen, our guy Owen, asked him how to spell "preposterous," and he
Yeah.
actually spelled it out for them correctly. And then they still went with "PROposterous."
P-R-E P-R-E.
P-R-E. Oh, I went with O instead of E. No. I guess that's okay.
Preposterous.
Yeah, it's
Well,
preposterous. How that? Yeah.
but to the more serious down was Janine,
Mm,
obviously.
yeah.
I
Poor
really
Ginny.
wanted to see that Janine come back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I really did think that it was going to be Ryan. That's what they were setting up the edit for as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they had the numbers.
Did they without Coco,
They
save for Cassidy? Did they?
they had the numbers if Noelle used her steal a vote.
Oh, oh, oh! I see. Because who would have been, because the bottom are actually, so you've got Noel,
Mhm.
Janine, Cassidy, Gabler, and then it would have been Sammy and
And
if they
Owen.
would have gotten Owen, actually they would have had the numbers without the steal vote. Sammy and Owen, if
Uh,
right,
but then
that would have been 6-5.
Sammy is part of the 7.
Yeah, but he did say, that's also one of my lows. He did say that the 7 isn't necessarily a strong 7. Was it him or was it Cassidy that the 7 were actually in a sinking boat? I don't know if I'm remembering it correctly, whether it was him or whether it was Cassidy who said that, because Cassidy also was part of that 7, right? Wasn't she?
So basically, even without the steal of vote, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Looking at it again, even without the steal of vote, they could have had the
If
numbers.
if Sammy had only gone through with his thing of, you gotta rock the boat, you gotta, the whole thing where he had this quote of something where good players survive but great players thrive, this whole thing about uncertainty and coming out of it with a win, right? Nah,
Sammy talks such a big game, but he hasn't been doing very much.
yeah, probably part of being a 19-year-old.
Oh.
Maybe not that I'm discounting any 19-year-olds, but that's probably part of his personal lack of maturity, despite trying to come off as someone 3 years older, right?
But yeah,
Uh,
they could have had the numbers.
they could have had it. They could have had it, and they could have, like, because Owen only wanted to be on the right side of the boat. That was him. That was his motivation for this episode. He only wants to be on the right side of the vote. And then if they had convinced him that this is the right side of the vote, then and him having been blindsided 2 times by the people on top, especially, that would have been, for me, That would have gotten them him. I don't get why Noel didn't vote with Janine and Cassidy.
Mm.
That's actually There's something that I didn't quite get. I didn't quite get why Noel didn't vote with Janine and Cassidy. Uh, because she has no reason to trust any of the people on the upper tier
Yeah.
in the power structure right now. Yeah. If you really think about it, the person in the middle is Sammy, right? He's the one supposedly in the middle. In that, and but I don't know. And he was the one who, like what you said, he's balimbing. He flip flops. He's flip flopped a lot. I even had a note here that he might have gotten scared when James walked in on them.
Pwede.
Right? He yeah. And there was this other conversation where they finally decided it was gonna be Janine, and then he was like he had this look. He did a Jim Halpert look at the camera where he looked at it. He was dejected and very unmotivated, demotivated maybe. It's
Yeah.
yeah, he just needs to he just needs to finally do a Cassidy and take a stand, right?
Yeah. I'm really liking Cassidy a lot
Yeah,
now.
she's coming out as well. Hopefully it continues. Hopefully she's consistent, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
yeah,
that was my biggest low.
biggest low, and it touched on some of my lows as well, actually.
Janine, no, Janine robbed goddess.
Yeah, so yeah, Sammy chickening out basically, because this would have been the prime moment for him to actually make a move. But yeah, for me, we talked about this already in the highs. That was sort of just something that happened there. Dwight, because it's a low for me because it would have made cool TV. It would have blown up the game of Jesse. Even though I'm also a fan of Jesse, Dwight didn't rat him out as he was walking out. Right?
Yeah.
He could have just said, Janine, Jesse's got your idol, and that would have blown Jesse's game
Yeah.
out of the water.
I actually have a question about that. Where do you stand on it? I was supposed to ask you and Martin this during the Ellie boot,
Mm.
but what's your take on players after they're eliminated being able to say stuff that can still potentially influence the game? Unlike the mole, diba? In the mole after
Yeah, no
they're
talking.
they
Yeah.
just quiet and then they go off
No
with
goodbye if they go off.
yeah.
I think that yeah, that was a good innovation by the mole, because I think that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to lessen the influence. That being said, I like the fact that they can talk on Survivor. They can still talk on Survivor, because for me it makes for good TV. From our rules, the rules guy in me, and the one who wants to make a game run efficiently, likes the mole setup, but the audience in me, the viewer in me, likes how it happens on Survivor, because it makes for good TV. It adds a lot of it has the potential to add intrigue in the game, right? And we got that whole that's what happens when you trust Gabler.
Which
Same
really
thing to
didn't,
you, right?
It
You
doesn't-
got
yeah.
that. You got that moment.
The memorable one recently was with Drea.
Oh yeah. The one where she ratted out on everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blow up everybody's game.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't know.
What about you? What do you think about it?
I like where Survivor is, in that they let the tribe decide whether it's ethical or not.
Mm. Do they let the tribe decide?
In a way, in a way that they, the the fact that the fact that there are no rules on it
Mm-hmm.
means that it is something that the cast can, in a way,
Ah,
legislate ba.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that would now that is those are tribe scenes that I'd like to see them discussing how they're going to play the game, the social contract that they build.
Yeah, but then the thing is, as with a lot of social contracts, a lot of them are unspoken. A
Oh,
lot
that's
of
true.
them are, like, I'm pretty sure that if one person left tribal and said, left salty, and
Mhm.
while they were on their way out, got a tremendous beat down from the rest of the tribe, and that salty person's closest ally had a really hard time in the next day,
Mhm.
nobody in the tribe would leave salty.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, it's a to our Filipino viewers, it's a delicadeza thing.
Yeah.
Delicadeza things aren't legislated. They're just sort of things that we know,
Yeah. It's just the way that you behave. Right.
and that's something that is determined by each society and each culture. Uh, Sorry, I was a social studies teacher.
But that would be a nice topic for research. Like go through the 43 seasons of Survivor and try to research, just base it on the episodes. Don't base it on any other podcasts or anything else that happened. Studying the show, base it on the episodes, try to ferret out what were the social contracts that came out,
Yeah, what
why
were
and
the
how did
if
it affect, how did it influence how the the episodes or the season panned out, right? That would be a cool thing to do. Like, apologies to our viewers and listeners, you are talking to two people who have some experience in the academe.
if any of my former students are listening, let me just put it in this way. What are the values that came up in the tribe that led to their mores, that led to their norms,
Mm,
right? Because
mm,
values give rise to norms.
yeah,
So, what were the values and the norms that were that arose from those values?
yeah,
Because those are things that, for a good chunk of what is and isn't allowed in Survivor, it's just decided by the cast more
mm,
than it is by the producers.
mhm.
Supposedly, I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly the producers just, this is the playground that you can play in. It's you who, it's the castaways who specify how they're gonna play. Right.
Uh, going back to the downs, there was a notable lack of an octopus.
Again, the lack of the octopus. Hashtag release the Kraken, please.
Last week we were like, oh, it's episode 8.
Yeah, episode 8. 8
Octopus.
octopus. Then again, October is the 10th month, so maybe we'll get it in episode 10. Holding out hope that Survivor uh, uh, delivers on its promise of a kraken or an octopus in this season. Aside from the snuffer, right?
Yeah, and that one shot in like episode 3 where they had an octopus there
Yeah,
when it came back from commercial.
yeah.
But other than that, we haven't gotten an
We
octopus. And
haven't gotten an octopus. Speaking of octopus and speaking of some things that happened in this episode, and I have it on my low. I really hoped and thought that this was the episode where they were gonna bring back the Survivor auction or the food challenge.
mm,
And one of the things that they could have technically uh have our castaways eat would have been octopus. Right?
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things to eat because
Yeah.
it's really chewy. Right? So, yeah, but with all of the talk of food, with all of that talk of food, I was like, okay, are they setting it up for the food challenge, the gross out food challenge? That would have been cool, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, we haven't had
Alas.
that. Alas, we get my anticipation because I had a high expectation. I got disappointed. That's how
You're
I approach a lot of superhero films nowadays. I don't have any expectations, so I don't get disappointed. But for Survivor, I always have some sort of expectation, and but it always sets me up for a lot of disappointment.
and
Yeah,
it feels like your torch is snuffed out by an octopus looking ladle thing.
yeah. Every time it happens, it's like, oh, okay, here's my torch.
Speaking of food, that was such a half-assed negotiation from Jeff for that sack of rice.
It's 5. Can we do 4? No, it's 5.
Again,
It's 5 today. Tomorrow it's gonna be more expensive.
and like what was it? Again, he said like, and the standard has always been 5. Like, no, not really. Like,
I don't. Yeah, Jeff coming up with a lot of has always been for this season.
yeah, he's been retconning a lot of 40, 41, and 42.
Yeah,
Oh well.
maybe. Oh well.
He's trying to gaslight us.
Yeah,
We're being gaslighted. Gaslighted,
yeah.
gaslit.
Gaslit. Right. But yeah, I don't know where they're going with that.
You think they could say, okay, Jeff, we'll give you 6, but you have to give us that sack of rice and the previous reward from the reward challenge?
The 10 how many fish were that? The 10 fish that Vessi didn't get.
Yeah.
You have to include that. Right?
And we'll get, and 6 people will sit out. Oh.
Yeah.
I bet they have Ryan, though,
Yeah.
who just keeps
Ryan.
on fishing and not strategizing.
Well, he does strategize for 30 minutes to an hour before he goes out to fish. You know.
Foreshadowing for our goat of the week, are we?
Oh my gosh, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, speaking of Ryan though, I I don't as a fan of the show, I can't ride on the way that he's playing the game. And I can't ride on the way that he's portraying himself, right? He wants to be viewed as the provider and all of that. But it seems to me that all he really wants to do is sound and look cool. That's why he did the Spider-Man thing. That's why he volunteered himself for the physical challenges, the throwing thing that he like was miserable at. And yeah, even here, when they started talking about food, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna have like, what was it, a burrito wrapped in pizza, wrapped in whatever. It seems that he just wanted to one up everyone else. Everyone else was just like, Sammy was like, I'm gonna order an app, mains, and dessert. Very straightforward. And he's got all of these, I've got like, yeah, I'm gonna do you one better. Right? It's gonna be this wrapped in that, wrapped in that. It is very put on for me. It's very put on.
With that being said, I would like to try a burrito wrapped in pizza.
Well, yeah. Then dunked in like cheese sauce. Oh my gosh,
That'd be so good.
That's like heart attack.
Mm.
And then the burrito would have like a Mexican rice and then chili. Oh gosh.
You know, after watching the episode, the next day I actually had pizza, and then the day after that I had a burrito.
So, Ryan is an influencer. He can be an influencer. Yeah, and maybe caldereta because caldereta is made of goat. Anyway, anyway, Yeah, I really can't ride the way that he presents himself in the series, in the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
that quote that I said, like, I'm going fishing in 30 minutes to an hour or so, so I want to talk with everyone else before then. I'm like, yeah, I can't ride with that. That's not strategy. That's just,
It's like he's playing in the wrong decade, no?
yeah. Yeah. Well, you can just imagine him playing with Roxroy.
Another anachronism.
Right. Yeah, they play the same game. It's just that Roxroy he was grating. I think that he was abrasive, but he wasn't flashy about the
Yeah,
way that he played.
that's true. That's true.
Ryan really tries to, like, look at me, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, that's me. What do you have any other lows?
Uh, the audacity of James. The audacity of
Ooh,
him telling Owen that he is
oh,
protected.
you're protected, the
I mean,
Godfather.
it was great TV, but it's like the audacity.
Yeah,
This could
yeah.
this could just as well have been an up or a high.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
just decided to put it here because we talked a lot during our highlights. So
And we like Owen. We like Owen.
yeah, we like Owen. We like Owen. Interesting story. Asian, but not really. Like
Yeah.
I actually had a classmate back in the day that was super Asian looking, but was adopted by by an Australian couple.
Oh,
So it was like, oh yeah, this is the experience
yeah.
of Owen. Like, okay,
Mm. Yeah. So
very
he really felt like he was uh on the outs, basically, right? From
yeah.
childhood. Poor guy. Poor guy. That's why the James's quote is no, that's out of line. It's out of line for us.
He better win, dude.
Who? Owen?
Owen.
Owen. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool to have him win.
Like the whole thing is gonna be like how he's now the one that's like driving the bus. He, he's no
He's
longer.
no longer just not out of the bus, not just sitting in the back seat, but he's now driving the bus.
Yeah, man.
Right. It was actually It is going to be a bit of a high on Owen again, but it was kind of cool that he used his own job as his analogy for his current status in Survivor. Like,
Yeah.
if his current status in Survivor was a college application, like, he'd be like, his extracurriculars are all bad, his grades are all bad. Basically nobody likes him, and that's because he's a college applications whatever.
Admissions.
Yeah, he does that. That's his work, basically, right?
Yeah, he's the dude that's in the office in the lobby next to study hall B.
Yeah, yeah.
At
He's
least where we went to school.
where we went to school. He's a member of those. He's an employee. He's a university employee, probably, or college employee that helps decide who gets accepted into the school. All right, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, going back to Lowe's, how did you feel about the loopholes that were uncovered during the challenge? Ryan using his forehead to balance that stick, and Cody using his leg to prop up the stick during the challenge.
And Owen doing none of those?
Owen doing none of those, right?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I was like, oh, he's trying. They're trying, but like Owen didn't need to, so it made the other two strategies, even though they might have been effective, look kind of ineffective. We need a Peridium video on this.
Yeah, but for me, the way that the challenge was presented, for me, I really thought that they had to prop it up using only their hands. That's why when I saw Ryan putting it on his forehead, I was like, wait, isn't that a violation of the rules? Apparently not.
Apparently not. But I don't know. Like I said, we need a Peridium video on this
Yeah.
Did they manage to hack the challenge, or was it not a hacked challenge because like Owen still ended up winning, doing it the intended way?
Yeah. Because it at the point in the challenge, Jeff did say that you have to have your hand under. You can't move your hand up from where it is now, and you have to have your hand under the marker after you make the transfer. Those were the only things that he said that were closest, aside from the ball having to stay up there, closest to being like rules of the challenge. But for me, it goes without saying that it should only be propped up by your hands, right? It was so because all of the other hacks, I mean, all the other hacks, like the one that comes to mind really is the that challenge about getting the fruits through over the top. They were basically still doing what they needed to do. They needed to throw fruits over the top, and then they had this other guy from the other team that had to whack it away. But they still did what was required of the challenge. But it's just that they threw so much fruit over, trying to throw so much fruit over the hoop or over the mark, that the guy trying to whack away the fruits couldn't whack all of them out. Right, so that's why some other fruits came through, and then that's how they hacked that challenge. Right, this one, the assumption is you prop it up with your hands and only your hands. But then again, the other two used other parts of their body. Right, what would have stopped? What would have stopped, say, Cody from using, like, putting it in between his legs, really, because he would have a little bit more, or I don't know, finding a way, putting it in his under his arm to gain more stability, like, find a way to make this more stable. Yeah, that's something that I think was a loophole that got uncovered, and wasn't addressed by the producers, because apparently they would have had time to do it if Cody or Ryan had done it, because they actually have like apparently they have a practice round. They have a practice round, and Owen, I think, tweeted about it, that during the practice round, Noel's ball, when it fell, it hit him in the balls.
Oh yeah.
So they have a practice round. So yeah, but I don't know. I don't like the fact that loophole came out. I don't think that it was a hack. I don't accept. I can't accept it as a hack. I have to think of it as they cheated the challenge. For me, they cheated the challenge.
In other words, future survivors.
Yeah.
Remember the words of your sportitos. Use your armpit.
Use your armpit. Find a way. Like, what would have, like, they had this whole barrier. They could have leaned against the barrier, put the stick on the barrier.
Oh, yeah. But wouldn't that make it move forward a little bit? I don't know.
No, they can lean against it and then put it down there on the barrier. And then, because the weight would have been down straight on the barrier, wouldn't that make it a little bit more stable? There's ways to cheat, well, not cheat, to work around the physics of it all, right? I don't know if I'm making sense with what I'm suggesting too, but I did find that fishy. I did find that fishy. That those hacks that they made, that they did, the loopholes that they found. Any other lows for you?
No, just Janine, really.
Okay.
We begin with Janine, we end with Janine.
Yes, Janine, poor Janine. It would have been nice to see her ascend to at least the final three, right? But no, she didn't get there. She didn't stay long enough. All right. And so now we go back to the man with the thoughts with Martin's thoughts. With Martin.
Martin's thoughts with Martin. Martin.
Oh man, for my
Yeah.
lows, dear God, I predicted, just like Joel, a alligator run from start to finish of the season. So that's a low for me because I got that wrong. And damn it, man, could have won, really could have won. Other lows, I guess the fact that Jeff is now a bit more crafty. And he's saying, okay, guys, you can settle for 5, because I'm not setting the bar too low for this rice. It's 5, and it'll get worse in the next few challenges if you don't have 5 set out of this one. That's a low for me because that gives less haggling power by the survivors of this season compared to 41 and 42. I think Jeff was playing on kid gloves with them on rice negotiations, but now he ain't. He's gonna be like, my life's fine, kind of Jeff again, like how we saw him in San Juan del Sur. So that's a low for me because it sucks to be the survivors who will be staying right now and wanting more rice in the next few challenges. That's my lows for Martin's thoughts.
Martin's thoughts with Martin. Martin.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying is that Jeff should have been like, I would like 8 of you to sit out.
Yeah.
But Jeff, but Mr. Jeff, can we have 5? Yes.
Okay, I'll give you 5. In typical Jeff fashion, I'll give you 5.
Yeah, that's it. If you're doing a negotiation, you're supposed to start high
Yeah.
with the expectation that you're going to that people are going to haggle it down to the price that you kind of want it to be in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have Cody in their. They have Cody, who should presumably be good at negotiation. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they already voted out our girl, Justine.
Yeah. I get the feeling that moving forward, like the only I'm gonna sound so bitter about Justine and Janine being the ones that are voted out.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, good thoughts from Martin. Yeah, I did forget about the prediction on an alligator run, but I do still think that he's strong. He had a very weird strategy for this. He never looked up the entire time for the challenge. Right? He was looking
Yeah.
straight ahead and he was smiling the entire time. That was really funny for me. That was too funny. He was I think he was just looking straight at Jeff and then he was just smiling. Right? I guess that's how he tries and concentrate. I don't remember if he was happy in the previous immunity challenge as well. So I guess that's how he focuses. It just didn't work for him this time.
He ran out of people to dedicate
Yeah.
a section of stick to. All right, this section of stick is for my cat.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next segment, let us go with our predictions and what we want to see in the next few episodes. Let's Zhao, what do you have?
Who is? I'm calling it now. Cassidy. This is gonna be Cassidy's episode. I'm just gonna keep on doing that until she either. I'm gonna keep on calling that until she either gets voted out or does something huge. So, this is gonna be Cassidy's episode.
Okay.
She's gonna start the revolution.
Oh, you think that she's gonna be the start of the La Revolution?
She's already planted the seeds. Or she could just be voted out, but she's already planted the seeds.
Yeah. Because I actually kind of wanted personally. This is also mine. I want it to be Sammy. I want it to be the young guy. It can probably be Cassidy indirectly. So Sammy gets Sammy gets inspired by Cassidy, right? Cassidy is the instigator, and then Sammy is the one who can actually come up with a plan. I want him to be the one to make the move, right? Bring Owen to his fold. Well, okay, let's go back. So that you've got the people at the and who are the people on the top. So you've got Jesse and Carla and
James.
James and Cody.
Yeah.
It's really just the four of them, right?
Yes.
Technically, it's just really the four of them. We're down to the final 10. Am I right? Final 10 or final 9? Final 10.
10. Well, we can say that Ryan, by virtue of being the greatest of all time,
Yeah.
is,
Yeah, he's the fifth. All right. Okay. So, but okay, on the other side, you've got Noel, Gabler, Cassidy, and then sort of Sammy and sort of Owen.
Owen, yeah.
Right? So it's really these three. Well, Gabler just doesn't know that he's on the bottom, probably, but it's Noel and Cassidy who are really on the bottom right now. If Sammy, or if Sammy, just because Sammy would also probably have the more influence in among those five, he's the one who can influence Gabler.
Yeah.
And he can bring in Noel and Cassidy. And since it's been sort of him and Owen being like the kids of Ellie from before,
Yeah.
right? From Baka. And they can have that, we have to be Baka, because right now on the other side it's Coco and Bessie. It's the power players of Coco and Vessi and Ryan. So they can be the five, and that's when Noelle can use her steal a vote, right? So, yeah, it's currently technically, if you really think about it, it's 5 versus 5. It can be 5 versus 5.
And Noelle can use her steal a vote, to
Yeah.
make it 6-4.
Yeah. Right?
So we're saying that Sammy is going to be the instigator of the revolution.
Yeah, that's me. You said it's Cassidy. I'm okay with it being Cassidy as well.
But Joel.
Yeah.
What about the big girls? I mean, that's the title of the next episode. So.
Oh, that's the what about the big girls?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What about the big girls? So I mean, that's obviously going to be Carla talking about herself.
Yeah. Actually, that's yeah. That's already what I'm thinking. Ooh. Okay, but then again, they haven't been. They've been using throwaway lines as the title, so I can't really say that it has any bearing on the way that the story is being told.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed, 100%. It's preposterous at this point.
It's preposterous at this point.
So what we're saying is next week is going to be where is this going to be the episode that the revolution happens?
If it's going to happen, right? Like what you've been saying, they've been playing passive aggressive, so there's a possibility that they just ride the wave until they all get voted off, and we have the 4 power players. Well, I really do think that either Jesse or Carla is going to betray either Cody or James sooner or later.
Yeah.
Right, because they want that third seat to be occupied by Ryan.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. So the trajectory of the season is the final 3 is Jesse and Carla and Ryan.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, if this is gonna be like how, if I remember correctly, how Boston Rob won his season, like he just, okay, this is how it's gonna happen. We're gonna whittle it down until I have my final 3, and I'm part of that. He became the god. That's when he became the Godfather, right? So yeah. So sooner or later they're gonna turn on Jesse and or James.
So that's going to be one.
Isn't next episode the episode that's the double elimination?
Oh yeah, it is. Huh? Oh my god, it's Sorry, yeah. Well, it feels, yeah. Well, what we're told is that the two people are going to be immune, and the
Mm.
assumption is it's going to be 5-5,
Mm. Yeah.
like last season where they split into two groups, and
Yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah.
when.
This was a prediction that I had in our group chat that I'm gonna put it out here on the episode. That I want it to be, and apparently Martin said that it has happened before. Uh, so the entire tribe with two immune will vote first for one. They vote. It gets announced. That person's torch is snuffed out by the Kraken snuffer. That person leaves with some words, maybe,
That's
and
going to be
then
my new metal band, the Kraken Snuffer.
the Kraken snuffer, and then the same group, the same 9 with the same 2 immune, will vote a second time right after.
That'd be cool.
All right,
It's-
that's my what I want to see. Because
Instead of splitting
instead
them
of
into two.
splitting it into 5-5, because that way the dynamic of the entire tribe still has an influence, still influences who gets voted out, the two that get voted out, right?
Oh,
It would be a way for the 5, if the revolution does happen, it would well be a way for them to take out 2 of the others right away, because if they get the one using Noel's steal a vote, it becomes 5-4. Then they don't need the steal a vote anymore. Then they take out another one. It becomes 5-3. And then that's going to be Carla, Jesse, and Ryan. And then the 3 of them find a way to eliminate all 3 of them. And it's going to be that for the final 3.
and that's the season, ladies and gentlemen.
And that is the season, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, any other things you want to see?
I want to see Gabler get immunity again next week. I want to see a Gabler. Yeah, I
The
want to see
alligator
Gabler.
resurfacing.
Yeah, right. Gabler and Cassidy. I want to see them get immunity,
Mm.
and that way Cassidy can call the shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm on the. It's going to be the Cassidy episode.
Mm-hmm.
Train.
Yeah. Okay.
My canonical winner pick is Jesse, but my gut winner pick is now Cassidy.
Mm. And you always want to follow your gut, right? So,
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah. Now let's
Wait, look at what that got me. That got me Justina's second boot.
Well, you still do have your canonical, logical winner. You've got Jesse, who is sort of it seems to be it seems that the edit is showing that it's him heading all the way to the end, right? Unless we suddenly have something else happen in the next couple of episodes that contextualizes all the previous 8 episodes that we've seen. Just the same way as how Jesse showing up with the idol at the top of this episode contextualizes what happened in the last episode.
Yep.
Right? So yeah.
Again, I'm 50-50 on that. I don't know whether I like that or not. I like dramatic irony where I know, but the people in the... Anyway.
Okay, now let us listen to the predictions of the man with the thoughts. With Martin's thoughts. Martin's
thoughts with Martin.
So for my predictions in the next episode of Survivor, dear effing God, it's going to be a double elimination. We know that already. But who are going to be eliminated? I hope it's not like a split into 2 genders kind of thing. I doubt they're that stupid to do that. If they are, dear God, Jeff, don't. So my thing here is, will the 7 stay 7 strong? In Survivor history, you would never, ever want that to happen. So here's what I think. First elimination, okay, the 7 stay, Everyone stays hunky dory, and I feel like it's either Owen or Noel who will be gone. But hey, just saying for the sake of predicting, first boot, if Owen loses the next challenge, Owen's gone. Alright? Because I want the alligator to stay. Damn, I can't believe I'm saying that. The alligator survives this episode because it might be Owen that's gone, and the next one that might get voted out here would be Sammy. Now I know he has this upside. Now I know he's been playing under the radar, playing on two teams, but hey, sometimes in that island, when you have no sleep, not much food, and you're just degrading, like, because of the gameplay and stuff, we will say he let something slip. He messes up this episode, and this is like his swan song in the second half of the episode. I hope I'm wrong, because I love me some Sammy, but sometimes someone has to take the fall. Someone has to take the sacrifice. And I think if Jesse's gonna stay and he's gonna be going to the end, he's gonna see Sammy as a threat at this point already. So Crosshair's gonna be Sammy and Owen, who will be gone. And Gabler will be the last Baka standing at the end of the episode.
Martin's thoughts with Martin.
Hey,
Martin.
he predicted the two that
Yeah.
are gonna get eliminated. Owen and Sammy. Interesting. Interesting. Your thoughts on Martin's thoughts. Thoughts on Martin's thoughts with Zhao and Joel.
Why does Martin have to be so logical, man?
Well, he is our subject matter expert. We're just two fans of the game, of the show.
It's gonna be Ryan and Cody there.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's Owen. Yeah, my heart wants me. It's a heart thing. It's not a head thing or a gut thing. Wants him to join the La Revolucion, because he actually did. We keep on saying that it's a red herring, but he did have that scene where he talks shit about James,
Yeah.
thinking that how does he think that he can run the show and all that. So yeah, I hope that means that he is going to join the revolution. The revolution, right?
And hopefully next week the revolution will be televised.
Yes, and it won't be a secret scene.
Oh my god. These really cool secret scenes,
They should be non-secret scenes. Oh gosh. Anyway, moving on to the next segment, Survivors of the Week.
Right.
Joe, who do you have as I think that most of this is gonna be like unanimous castaway of the week for you.
I don't know. I have three. It's
Oh,
either Jesse,
nice.
Cassidy, or Owen.
Oh, okay. All right. Jesse because of the idol, Cassidy for taking a stand, and Owen for just winning it.
Yeah. So like
Mm.
I'm torn there. I suppose that could be like the head, heart, gut thing.
So the head says it's Jesse, right?
Yeah.
The heart says
Heart
it's
says it's Owen
Owen.
or Cassidy.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, why are we taking like a 19-year-old's interpretation of head, heart, gut?
I don't know because it makes sense, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, for me it's Owen for me, because again, I think that this was a clutch win for him. He really needed to win, otherwise he was the one going out. And number two, he was finally on the right side of the vote. He's on the bus. He is now in the back seat of the bus, and basing it off on the next episode scenes, hopefully it means that he's now on a warpath.
Next stop, bus driver.
Yeah, bus driver. Right. So yeah, so there. So we've got 3 in contention.
Yeah.
Owen, Jesse, and Cassidy.
I'm going to say Cassidy
Mm.
because you said Owen, and because it wasn't edited to be a big brain play by Jesse. He
Mm.
just got lucky.
He lucked into getting it from Dwight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying the survivor of the week is Cassidy.
Okay. There you go. Okay. What about goat of the week?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Oh, it's so sad because he seems
Mm.
like such a genuine guy.
Yeah, it does seem that way. But he doesn't have a good awareness of the social. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have social awareness. He doesn't have an awareness of the social gameplay that's happening.
Because he's out fishing.
He's out fishing, right? Even
Because
Carla
he's
pointed it out.
because he's playing like it's 2004.
Yeah, be a provider and they won't vote you out. But then again, all of the providers in previous seasons have always been voted out early because they don't want the provider to go to get to the final 3. Because
Yeah.
that would be part of the resume. I provided for the tribe, right? Yeah.
But even now, like now though, in today's game, even if you did provide for the tribe,
It
that
doesn't
isn't
guarantee.
that isn't a resume builder.
Yeah. Because the resume builders are the moves that you make. That's
Yeah.
what they already use.
We've talked about this many times before. Survivor is less Bear Grylls and more Big Brother. I mean,
Sadly.
and I actually use this. I don't use this as a pejorative.
Mm.
It's not about surviving the elements. It's about surviving the other members of the tribe. You know,
Yeah.
it's like The
It's like
Walking Dead. You know,
no.
we are the Walking Dead. Like we have to survive each other and not the elements. You know.
So it's like a an adaptation of No Exit. Hell is everyone else. Right?
Yes. Hell is other people.
Yes.
Yes. It's not hell is the elements. Hell is
Yes,
other people.
Other people. All right. Wow. Yeah. And then Ryan doesn't have that in mind.
Yeah, you know, and Survivor has gone from more of being about surviving the elements, i.e., Bear Grylls, to surviving each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, because that was like the big debate in the first season of Survivor,
Mm.
and more it's been going towards the surviving each other and not surviving the elements. And Ryan is
It's
playing
still
like it's a
in the
yeah.
previous mindset. Yeah. Poor Ryan. Poor Ryan. He really looks like it seems to be like he's a very sincere guy. He just I guess that he also just wants to fit in. It's just that he just doesn't have a good awareness of what's happening in the game socially.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to purple of the week. Who you got?
Are they showing us the alligator going underwater?
Oh. Yeah, we didn't. He hardly did anything this week. He just looked at Jeff smiling.
Yeah, like I don't feel like, you know, he did have like the whole I'm a ship looking for safe harbor, and
Yeah.
he did have that cool line, but like, you know, that was the coolest thing he did.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Carla didn't seem to
Mm-hmm.
have very much other
yeah.
than say no, it can't be Ryan.
Uh-huh.
You know.
I think that because a lot of them play under the that's their strategy, play under the radar. We're getting multiple purples. It's a purple fest.
They didn't see the whole of Survivor 42.
Where
But this particular cast didn't see the entire 42, but they did see the entire 41.
Mm.
So like while 42 was being
Was-
aired, they were shipped off to Fiji.
Mhm.
So right now their archetype for the new season is
Is
Erica.
Erica. Yeah. Yeah. That's also why Justine actually, well, aside from the fact that they both share being Filipino, when in some of her pre-game interviews, she did count herself as being closest to Erica the most, right? So yeah. So
So that
Erica
could
is
be-
currently the blueprint for Survivor winner in the new era for them.
Yeah. Little did they know that the exact opposite of Erica in the person of Marianne O'Catch is the next
Is
winner,
the
right?
winner of season 42.
The most over the top one.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, for me, purple of the week, and I guess yeah, purple of the week for me for this episode is Survivor Creatives. The creativity of Survivor producers. We did not see it anywhere this week.
Well, we did get it in the beginning, sort of.
but most specifically for choosing that title. I mean, that title. Why is that the title? The bull in the china shop in the last episode made sense because it was all about Gabler, right? That was the episode with Gabler, right? Yeah, that was
That was the
idea.
aftermath. That was the aftermath of the Gabler episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it happened after what happened. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this one, PROposterous, really, why was that the title for the episode? It didn't do anything to encapsulate the episode for me, and it wasn't said at an important part of the episode. It was a throwaway scene. It was just on the boat, and then you've got the two dudes, right? The two dude bros like talking about it. And then it didn't help in telling whatever story the episode was telling. It didn't contribute to the episode. So yeah, Survivor Creatives, you're purple.
I'm with you on this. I suppose that means that my purple of the week is a good title.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. Anyway. Woo. Any final thoughts?
Good episode insofar as it made the previous episode better.
Mm.
Cassidy is now one of my heroes,
Mm.
as is Jesse, still one of my heroes. And I'm feeling nervous for Owen, man. He got the backstory.
Yeah, he got the backstory. He's now on borrowed time. Wow. We will see what happens in the next episode. Like what we said, it is a double immunity, which always almost means that it's also a double elimination. We'll get to see what happens next. That is it, though, for tonight for this episode of the Council of Titos. If you liked our video, please hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. Also consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever we come up with new content on the Laro-Laro Lang channel. This channel has other shows on it focused on sports and other similar things. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs every time we talk Survivor, you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Council of Titos and you'll find us there. Anyway, this has been Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon.
I'm Zhao, still hoping for an octopus this season.
We hope that you can join us again on the council soon. Until then, stay safe, everyone. The Titos have spoken.